Best known for its famous pass, Bainskloof proved a natural magnet for travel writer Jared Ruttenberg. A pilgrim in so many senses of the word, he studied IT, theology and psychology and practiced all three disciplines along the path that brought him here.
I've been a travel journalist for 5 years now, just going on 5 years. And before that, for the previous 15 years, worked as a pastor in the Anglican Church. And I was always fascinated by people and experiences. And 5 years ago, I decided just to pause the pastoring and pursue something different. My switch from pastoring to journalism was, in essence, a continuation of my desire to see new places.
Although now planning trips to New Zealand and the UK, it's local waters that excite him most.
One of the things I love most about being a travel journalist is that I'm a bit of an experience junkie, and so every day I need to have something that's new in my life. And so traveling, and particularly in a country like this where there are thousands of places to be explored, it's almost as if I've got a never-ending horizon to explore, and so every day has the possibility of having a new experience.
Some dip their toe into the new, exotic and colourful. Others dive right in the deep end.
During the last couple of years, a certain couple from Cape Town decided that they wanted to create something very special up here in the mountains, their ideal cabin, and we're coming to check that out today.
So Mount Bain cabin is set on the Haverkwas mountain, and we are set within a beautiful 660 hectare private nature reserve, and we overlook the stunning Bainskloof Valley. So the vision for the cabin really came from this yearning that both Dean and I had to live a more simple rural existence. But with life in Cape Town and city living, it wasn't always possible. Then when the pandemic hit and things changed, suddenly accessibility wasn't an issue. So yeah, we found the cabin, and what we are trying to really bring to life here is slowing down, simple living in nature, but with all the comforts that go along with that.
If you want to switch off, and you mean it, this is the place for you.
The architectural design, I mean, as you can see, is a very simple, almost Nordic style small cabin. And it's very simple. It's nestled in nature, so it's meant to be as inconspicuous as possible. We've selected to put in a beautiful stovetop espresso maker rather than a machine, so there's no flicking on something for your morning coffee. And the reason we've done this really is to help people move through the processes of life mindfully, to slow down, get back to basics, and really just be present.
A former IT designer here and abroad, Jared appreciates the chance to deprogram.
My first impressions of this cabin, I'm absolutely blown away. I discovered it in a magazine. There was a little sneak preview of it a couple of months ago, and from that moment I knew it was going to be on my bucket list. And to be here in person a couple of months later, very exciting. So many South Africans love a rustic experience out in nature, and this provides exactly that, but with a little bit of luxury. My travel is largely based around curiosity. I've been blessed with a very healthy dose of curiosity. So whenever I arrive at a place, immediately I'm wanting to find out what are the local places to go and eat. Are there any craft breweries around? What are some of the mountain peaks? Or as in my case often, are there any trail runs, and are there waterfalls to be explored? So I love the sense of being placed somewhere but saying, hey, what does the entire context around have to offer?
He's reviewed 150 places, so just a mild case of the travel bug then, Jared.
Growing up in the foothills of the Drakensberg in KwaZulu-Natal, our family spent a lot of time exploring the hills, and I think that's helped develop my love for the outdoors, which involves hiking, running, trail running, and of course moments like this when you're out in the wild and you discover remote waterfalls.
After a long hike, no hotel shower in the world can compete, and it means he's always freshly turned out for dinner. Which could be why last year Jared was invited to cover the grand finale of a famed Young Chef Academy in Milan, being a tidy cook himself.
Out here in the mountains, I thought what better meal than a traditional South African favorite, and so I'm going to be making a lamb potjie. Got some of the traditional ingredients out here, vegetables, some garlic, rosemary, lamb, and I'm going to be serving it with bulgur wheat. And then of course, every Potjie master needs his secret sauce, and eventually out will come one of the most incredible mountain meals you've ever had. So there are various different philosophies about how to make a potjie, but for me it's all about the layers. And first it's about the onions. It's getting the onions and your spices in, cooking in that good olive oil, and then comes the meat.
It's an apt dish for someone whose life is such a rich mix of faith, psychology, personal interaction, and adventure.
So now that the onions and those spices in the meat have sat there cooking for about 45 minutes, it's time to add the vegetables and then the secret sauce. Lastly, it is some red wine. And since we're in a valley that produces incredible wine, I've got a Cape blend from Opstal. Their vineyards are spread across this valley, and that's going to add a little bit of extra flavor into that. Lamb potjie was one of my father's favorite potjies. Last year, sadly, he passed away, and this is one of the legacies that he's left us with, and that is to enjoy cooking, and particularly potjies, and so that's why I've chosen this evening to do a lamb potjie.
5 stars are nice, but a bath you fired up yourself is luxury no amount of money can buy.
I think that there is definitely merit in us looking for rustic experiences in South Africa, and there's so many experiences on offer. And for those like myself who do enjoy a couple of the little creature comforts, to know that there's cottages and cabins like this that although they offer this rustic experience, there are a couple of beautiful little added extras. The beautiful wood-fired hot tubs, which are definitely in fad at the moment. Definitely find a cabin that has one of those. If there's one thing that we've learned over the past 2 years, is that there's no need for us to jump on a plane and head out and explore the rest of the world when we have so much here on our doorstep. And so my suggestion is bring out a map and explore what's 1 or 2 or 3 hours away from where you live, and find some of the hidden gems in and around that. And look at the travel magazines, search for some of the travel journalists and see what they have to suggest. There's so much sitting here on our doorstep, and all it takes is for us to sometimes jump in the car, pack that padcourse, and have a spirit of openness.
And that's today's lesson from a man who's been there, done it, and written the review. Get more of the Insider SA online. Follow, connect, engage, and be inspired to live better with the Insider SA. Watch the show Monday evenings at 5:30. Repeat Saturday at 1 on S3.